Hey everyone, Judd Burden here with Asphalt Kingdom, and I am here with Jon Polk. And I am so excited to be here right now, and we're going to have an awesome conversation. Jon recently responded to a request to write a blog post for us, some information to help pay it forward to the industry and help other people in the industry maybe just have a little, a gain of perspective or a different approach to what they might have been used to in the industry. And for guys starting out, this is super valuable information. When I actually got this blog post, Jon, I was like, man, this is just incredible. So thank you so much for paying it forward. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about, where you come from, your background, and kind of, where this journey has led you to now today?
Sure. I guess I was born an entrepreneur. I started my first business at 13 as a DJ. And at about 18, 19, I decided I wanted to get into the earth moving business. I had done that for some time in Western Kentucky. And, a lot of hard lessons, as everyone knows, owning your own business. And I didn't have any family background in earth moving or excavating. It was throw it out there and see what sticks and learn your lessons. Some are expensive, but as long as you take something from it, I always thought it was worthwhile. So I did that for probably 14, 15 years. And then I luckily took a job with RSC Equipment Rental. And I did work for them for about 5 years, started out as an outside salesman and then moved into management with them. And it was an excellent opportunity for me because I learned how a multi-billion-dollar corporation does business, how they manage their fleet, how they purchase fleet, and how they manage their customer relationships. Like I said, I did that for about 5 years. I went back to my earth moving business and have been doing that for about 11 years now, full time. Like I said, it started my business in Western Kentucky in 2011. We expanded into the Nashville market. At about the same time, right before we expanded into Nashville, I got into the paving business. And, along with paving comes seal coating and asphalt maintenance and all that. And the ride up in Nashville was amazing because, as most of, the people on here know, they attend the convention there in Nashville, and Nashville's just exploded.
I love Nashville, man. I love Nashville. Yeah. Great people too.
So, yeah, we were able to take the ride up in Nashville. And just recently, it was about this time last year, we were visiting some friends in Santa Rosa Beach in the Panhandle of Florida. And I walked out on the beach one night and I looked around and I was like, life's short. Let's move. And so, over the last year, we really just completed this move about 2 weeks ago. Moved family, my parents, my business, everything, and we kind of saw a similar, I identified a lot of similar things going on with business in this area that happened in Nashville 10 years ago, where you've just got this pent up energy waiting to explode. They've got the right people in place. They've got the right business policies in place. And hey, we're going to do it again, so that's a little bit about my background. More going into the asphalt and seal coating. The big reason for me to move into that part of the industry was we got into doing site work, for new restaurants, shopping centers, and so on. And one of the last things that we would do is have a paving company come in to pave all the work that we had done. And a lot of times either we had delays or we had quality problems. And it's the last taste that my customer would have in their mouth. After we had had a 3 or 4 month long great relationship with them, we would get down to the paving and it just wasn't up to my expectations. So we decided we would roll that into our business. And then what happened with that also is when we go do a new restaurant and we paved it and striped it, then we were able to roll in the asphalt maintenance from that point forward. And it's just continually expanded our business because we never let that customer out of the fold. So as soon as we pave the parking lot, they go into a calendar where we remind them, in a certain amount of time about seal coating, about striping. Hey, a big thing right now with all the COVID stuff going on, a lot of these drive-through restaurants are redesigning their drive-throughs, and some of them are looking for some guidance, especially if it's a smaller place. So, there's a lot of business opportunity there too, but that kind of gives you a little bit of insight into my background there.
And that's an incredible journey, and congratulations on your move, man. It takes extreme sacrifices to search for a future that you dream of, right? And congratulations for doing that, man. I had the same thing way back when, and man, I know 30A really well. I know Destin. That area had some real estate in Destin for a while, and we used to spend time at Crab Island, kiteboarding all along there in Okaloosa. And man, I love that area. And congratulations on the opportunity there. I've got a really good friend named Daniel Cole, who's in construction right there. Cole Construction. I'll connect you with him, but he's a big builder.
You know what? I ran across that name the other day, as a matter of fact. I did.
Okay. He's a very, very good buddy of mine, so I'll connect you guys. Awesome. But listen, the incredible thing in life is being able to, be able to share energy with other people. And I think that's one of the main purposes that we kind of connected here, was that I put this post out on USA Seal Coaters, and I just said, if somebody's looking to write some content and that we can create some linking between each other and some synergy, it's amazing what happens, right? You go from one message on Facebook to it's snowballing, and now we're here on video here trying to share this with people. So I guess touching on the blog post on the write-up that you did, there's a bunch of golden nuggets in there for sure that people should look at. I know that hiring in today's day and age, it's a common hurdle that we're seeing for companies that are wanting to scale and grow, is finding people that can actually work and do this kind of work in the asphalt maintenance industry and paving industry. So what would be your advice to people that are really struggling right now and finding people to work for them? Or is there another alternative perhaps to help fill some of those dark holes, so to speak?
Well, you're right. It is a very difficult environment to find good employees right now. And there's a lot of other things going, currently, again, with COVID, that's making some things even more difficult. So, something that, I guess a nugget that I could pass along, something that's, it's worked well for me. And, everything I have learned in this business, I learned from talking with other people. And sometimes in talking with other people, I found that I would give some advice that maybe I wasn't following as well as I was giving. And then I would see that advice help someone's business flourish. And one of the things that stuck out to me was several years ago, I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and he was struggling with the same thing. It was in the Nashville market, and it's, Nashville's been booming for so long that the workforce isn't there. And what is there is so expensive, and it's very hard to retain because there's so many people throwing money at them. And so going back to my equipment rental background, I told him, we discussed maybe some ways to find some machinery that could eliminate man hours on a job. And that has, in both his business and mine, proven to help our growth exponentially. If you buy the right fleet and you manage that fleet, and it's not just buying it and just using it every day. Working with a multi-billion-dollar company, I learned how important it is to them to take care of that machinery so it's up and running and ready all the time to earn you money. And we found that I was explaining to him, he does a particular type of commercial work. He kind of stays in one lane, and he was struggling with finding people that he could trust getting out to apply seal coat in the parking lots and get them turned over. He does essentially a section a day and then turns that over to parking and moves on to the next section. And so we discussed buying a squeegee machine. For him, this would have been the largest investment that he had ever made, and was just mind-boggling to him. No way I can spend this kind of money on this. So I grabbed a piece of paper. We were sitting at a bar.
What was it, 50 or 60 grand? 50 or 60 grand, yes, or more?
Yeah. I think he was close to 70 with some options that he got on it. But I grabbed a napkin there and started doing some math with him on what, if he was just to eliminate one employee for that task, what that would save him. And when we got done with that, I wasn't sure what his takeaway would be. But then again, like I said, some people take your advice better than you take your own. The next morning, he called me at 10 o'clock and he had one ordered. And I was like, whoa, you know. After a little bit of time, called me back, and I went from a friend and a colleague that it was hard to get to invest money in any kinds of equipment, to next thing he had one ride-on blower, two ride-on blowers, striping units with pushers, everything you could think of.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. And, and it blew his mind. He wound up, I think, close to quadrupling his gross income in 1 year in that season. We were having this conversation in maybe April is about the time things were kicking off, and lessened his workforce by 3 people. So again, if you will take your equipment that you're using and manage it, take care of it, and by managing it, making sure it's where it needs to be to get that task done, having everything set up and having systems in place, you can kind of alleviate some of your dependence on this workforce that's so unpredictable and so costly right now. So that was kind of a little bit about what is in that blog post, that I think will help some people maybe get over a little bit of a hurdle. Most construction company owners right now, their biggest hurdle, it's not finding work, it's finding the employees to get it done. Yeah.
And I'm hearing that tremendously too. I know workloads right now are through the roof. Everybody was unsure with the pandemic, with COVID and everything, as to what was really going to happen. But right. I think we've all seen that the floodgates have opened and everybody is completely jammed with work, which is phenomenal news. And also, just the signs that we're in an industry that's somewhat resistant to recession and in, a pandemic circumstance. Obviously, pothole and crack repair has been considered essential. It's been a great gray area for quite some time. But our clients are certainly speaking constantly about how busy they are. Now, in regards to, it's a delicate matter, because I know a lot of people would be like, okay, well, if you're eliminating workforce, it means you're eliminating jobs. And on the other side, you're investing into equipment that replaces them. It's kind of like the Walmart scanners, where you don't have the tellers anymore, or the cashiers, we should say.
That's right.
And my response, I'd like to respond to that just quickly and then get your take on it. Here's the thing. Your business requires equipment that is going to do the job more efficiently, effectively, that allows you to maximize your business so that you can invest into things like marketing and advertising, and perhaps hire on a salesperson, more salespeople, and hire on more marketing people that can help your business really get more business in, that can be managed almost like on a conveyor belt, managed by the equipment that you've invested into. An example would be that squeegee. You could either have multiple people pushing a broom, brush, squeegee, or you can have the ride-on squeegee that's actually laying it down 100 times faster, probably, or whatever the number is. And at the end of the day, you're getting that job done without having to deal with a lot of the personal problems and issues that might be associated with people coming in that might have had a late night out at the bar the night before. As we know in our industry, that happens actually quite often. So, somebody doesn't show for the job. But I think my advice to anybody watching and reading through this post, investing in your business is not only the equipment that can support the workload, it's really investing into it from a marketing and sales perspective as well. After all, we really are a marketing and sales company. Every asphalt maintenance and paving, landscaping contractor, anybody who owns a construction business, you're sales and marketing first and foremost. And
That's
then
right.
you're in the construction business, you know? So what's your take on that? Is it similar to that, or do you have a different angle on that?
Well, I am in a constant growth mode. I mean, it's all I consume my time with is how to grow, how to grow, how to grow, how to push the needle a little further. So to me, when I hear that instead of eliminating a position, what I'm going to do is find something else for that guy to do to make me more money. And, you know, if I've got the right employee in place, then I'm going to keep him anyway. You know, so I'm not going to go buy that machine and then let that guy go. I'm going to buy that machine and then put that guy in a position to push it a little further down the road. But see, it frees it up. And right now, you can't find the people to free you up to do anything. You know, I hope you don't mind. You and I missed. We had a little scheduling problem, and we both missed our meeting for this earlier. Hey, it bought me an hour and a half that I was able to do a little marketing for my business online that I would have had trouble doing, but it freed me up to do something for a minute. So, you know, it's that machine to me is, you know, an opportunity to find another avenue to put that person in to, you know, if I've got a guy that he's excellent on the job at identifying problems in a parking lot and fixing them in the right manner, and I'm able to free him up. Maybe the thing is in one afternoon, on a Tuesday afternoon, I send him back and have him clean up and have him go call on some customers. You know, that pushes your business a little further down the road. If you're, you know, going and contacting more people every day. So that's kind of my take on things.
I love that.
If it allows me to get rid of the guy that I needed to get rid of in the first place, then I'm going to do it. But if it allows me to take that person and put them into another role that serves both me and that person better, then that's exactly what I was looking for.
And that is awesome. I love that. And that's, you know, you're either in business to grow or you're not in business to grow, right?
Right.
And one of the key words I think, in certainly from what I'm hearing from you, is scaling. It's scaling, growing, and making your business, building your business to be more successful, right? And
well, you know, like for instance, people can't understand why we undertook this. I moved roughly 45 oversized heavy earth moving machines, 550 miles in one direction to open up a new office. I've put some of that equipment out of work for 4 months, but we were in a market in Western Kentucky that is not, it's for 15 years, it hasn't grown. And so the way I look at that is there's so much equipment or so much work that's going to be done in any given year. And if I've got 3 competitors there that are doing that work, for me to get more work, you almost are having to take that work away from one person. Whereas when I got into the Nashville market and we were in a market that's growing, you know, there's so much more opportunity out there. It's a lot easier to grab that way, you know? And so, you know, it's hard for people to understand why we would make this undertaking and move a business that's been established there for 26 years to a new market. But it's a market that is just, I mean, the growth numbers here are crazy. The income numbers here are great. And so it's, you know, and we're getting away from being so seasonal. And so it answered a lot of the problems that I had. Yeah.
Take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, another line perpendicular, and have your yes no columns, and just start doing your yes no's. And if those yeses outweigh the no's dramatically, you better go for it. That's for sure. You know, one of the things too, I think that's really important is getting outside of your comfort zone. You know, you speak about the gentleman that you were with, speaking about the squeegee machine and so on, and it's, whoa, $60,000, $70,000. It's slow down to speed up, do some calculation and some math, literally on a napkin with a calculator from your phone, or do it in your head if you're capable of it. But like, do some math here and really identify what that $70,000 truly means to you, right? What does that trajectory look like? It's not, a lot of people think that I can't spend that kind of money. It's not a cost, it's an investment. And that's the thing that I think we need to try to change our mindset a little bit from equipment, on an equipment perspective. Guys starting out in the business, they may not be able to afford a, 13 horsepower, a Little Wonder, or 9 horsepower Billy Goat blower, like whatever their push blowers, might not be able to afford the Hurricane. At the end of the day, they might only be able to afford the backpack blower. But don't get comfortable with that backpack blower when you're doing commercial lots. You can use it for residential and getting in nooks and crannies, but the reality of it is it's not going to maximize your business and be the efficient solution to clean off that surface in a mass type environment. And so always take what it is that you're doing and reinvest into your business to move towards that keyword, #scale, and grow, right? So I really loved your write-up, John. It had a lot of impact on me, and it actually gave me some personal perspective just to think about, in our business too, in any business, you start building cash and cash reserves in your business. What's that cash truly doing for you in the bank? It's doing nothing for you. The bank is doing something with it, but it's not doing anything for you. Have your safety net and your cushion, but yeah.
So in the rental industry, there's really 3 financial figures that they are consumed with, and I took these away and have applied them to my business. One is ROR, and it's return on the investment. So for me, when we bill out a job, I don't just say, if we're paving a job, I don't just bid to pave the job. I break everything down as far as my paver, my rollers, and I try to get a number in there of what that equipment is worth and what it's bringing in, okay? And we internally bill it that way. So then at the end of the year, we look at each individual piece of machinery and we look at the return on the investment. We take in how much money that machine grossed compared to how much it brought in, and there's a number that I want to hit. Just to throw one out there, generally you need to be around 40% or above to really start putting money in your pocket and be able to afford to take care of it. And then you can kind of do the same thing with your employees too. And they're an investment. How much money are you spending on payroll, on taxes, insurance, training? Go back in and look and see. I bill out each individual laborer internally on when we're billing out a job. Then I go back and look and see, am I making money having this guy on the job too, or am I losing money? And so it's, I never did business like that before. I just, I see on the forums all the time, everybody's wanting to know, it's some wide open number. How much should I charge a foot to do this? There's so many more things at play there than that. And that's the mindset you got to get into.
And John, that is, we could do a whole write-up around that too, right? It's like this topic is huge, man, because a lot of people go out and they don't do their cost analysis and they go out and just shoot from the hip, and that's okay. It's okay, but there needs to be a time where a dial's turned and you need to pivot towards understanding what your true costs are associated with your business, the jobs, your fixed costs, your variable costs. You need to truly understand what that is so that you know that you're going to be profitable. A lot of people are in the seasonal. You were seasonal as well, and you get into fall and there's not enough money saved by the end of the season because you've paid all your bills, right? Exactly. And if you had something set up where you knew through season that when you hit November, you know that you're going to have that money available as the cushion and to reinvest through the winter months when you can get better deals on equipment or pre-buying some bulk supplies or whatever it is, that's where you really start to win. So thank you for that share too, man. Jeez, your wealth of knowledge. You've been in business for what, how many years? 30 years?
26, 20, well, in the earth moving business now, I'm paving for 26 years. So, yeah.
Phenomenal, man. Hey, listen, I really appreciate you. I know we could sit here and speak for probably hours and hours and hours, which we probably will one do underneath a palm tree somewhere, but maybe over there on 30A. Yeah,
that's right.
But listen, really appreciate on behalf of the, you know, everybody who's watching this and on behalf of our team, thank you for this share, man. And I know it's going to impact a lot of people. Really appreciate it.
Well, I'm glad to. And I mean, it's a great industry to be in. I've never found another industry that has the profit margin that seal coating's got in it. I don't know of one. I mean, it's there. It's crazy. You know, you can get into multi-million-dollar businesses. The margin's not there like it is in seal coating. I mean, we're really blessed to be exposed to this and be able to get to do it every day. And you can drive down the road and, you know, your kids will learn what jobs you did and they'll go, hey, Dad, y'all did that job. You know, it's so cool to be able to see what you did. So, I mean, we're blessed to be in this industry. I love it.
We are so blessed to be in this industry. And what would be your best advice to just somebody just starting out? There's a lot of people with our company that are just starting their businesses right now. What would be your number one? I know there's a whole list of it, but what would be your number one piece of advice to somebody starting right now that is just getting involved, like just getting out to knock on their first door, give their first proposal type of a thing?
Well, I would say, you know, I always try to walk into something as prepared as I can be. But if I never paved a parking lot, you know, and we went and did one day. You know, I tried to do all the research I could, but at the end of the day, I did, you know, and it probably cost me money in the long run. But when we walked away from it, it was right. And that's, if you want to grow your business, you can never leave a job that you know, that is not done right, and you do a little extra for everything. And I promise you, it always pays off. Just a little bit of extra and make sure it's something they'll notice, and it pays off.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, go the extra mile, be professional, just do it. Don't run from anything, just do it. Yeah. I love that.
That's right.
Jon, thank you so much for popping on Zoom here with me, man, and sharing this time. Really appreciate it, brother. And I know
I appreciate you, and hey, you bring a lot of people to this industry, and we appreciate that too. So thank you.
Thank you, man. All right, cool. Well, listen, I'm gonna check out of Zoom here. We're gonna just pop into the waiting room right after this. So I'll just end this recording, and this recording will go live on social platforms as well as on the blog post as a video snippet in there. So thanks, man. Hold on one second. We're gonna tune out.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in with Jon and I right here. Appreciate it.